What's up, duelists? It's your boy, Randage. Welcome back to the Format Library channel. This past weekend, we held our latest installment to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Retro series, and this time we were featuring Fire Water format. With me here today is the first place winner of this event, soulsmanic. Souls, why don't you say hello?
Hello, everyone. So I'm soulsmanic. I won the tournament. I'm playing spirits.
All right. So, how long have you been playing Yu-Gi-Oh, man?
So I started back in 2011, so quite a long time. I haven't been playing completely straight through. I took breaks of some periods of months in between some formats, the ones that didn't interest me as much. But basically now a decade, I've been playing straight through.
All right, cool. You said you didn't like some formats. What formats would those be? And on top of that, what are some of your favorite formats?
So the formats that I didn't play in Dragon Rulers when they first came out at full power. I didn't play in Uh, well, in Zoo, I played some of it, but I don't think I played throughout the beginning portions of it. And I also didn't play in Pepe. And so Zoo, I caught the latter part of it, which was fine. I think I got a good experience of it. I actually didn't end up minding it. Dragon Rulers, I didn't play in due to I think I was playing more budget back then, so they didn't really appeal to me. Um, Although I kind of do regret not playing that format. It looked interesting and looked like there was at least some depth to it. Pepe I didn't play in, and I don't think I regret that too much. I don't think people look back on it too fondly. So that's that format I don't mind missing. For the formats I really enjoyed, and I think it's just the ones I've had memorable experiences from. So I really enjoyed Wind Up format with Dino Rabbits and Sectors, which I think is somewhat received well. Maybe not the most popular format from the past, but it's somewhat liked. I just liked it because I think that's when I've got my first actual deck done. I was playing TG Stun and was having some success at locals at that point in time. Another good format I really enjoyed was the ABC Metal Foe Paleo format. That was my first top invite and top eight from that format. So uh, that was good. I don't generally play meta decks, but I think Metal Foes was one of the few meta decks I enjoyed to play due to the mirror being really interactive.
All right, cool. So following that, I mean, have you got any favorite decks that you've used? I mean, you said you've topped some events, which is pretty impressive. What's some of your favorite decks?
Well, probably second most favorite I think was Metaphors, which was my first invite and top eight. It was the same event, which was funny. I usually play a lot of different decks, but that was one deck I decided to stick to for quite a long period of time. And like I said, I think the mirror match is very good. There's not as many generic cards. It's mostly you're both playing and trying to chip away each other's boards and advantages as the turns go on. So that's definitely up there. I really enjoyed Fables back from 2011. I never really had much success with them, but it was a really fun deck to play. Other decks I guess I should mention is Infernoids. I didn't play them when they first came out in 2015, but I played them a lot in 2019 in Orcus format with Sky Striker, and that was my second top eight at a regional with it. I ended up getting two to that format and kind of put that back on the map because no one really saw that. But they were just seeing my binder the one day. I'm like, I should figure if this actually works in this format, and I had a lot of success with it. So that's really good. Other honorable decks I enjoy. I think the Invoked Engine is really good. I really enjoy Go Second strategies. So Invoked McKnight was something I enjoyed playing. And then in my earlier years, I also enjoyed TG Stun because that was the first deck I kind of actually put together at a competitive level. So that holds a special place in my memory.
Yeah, mentioning Infernoids, I remember when they did first come out. That was actually one of my favorite decks to play as well. They didn't have as much power in the meta, but they were still a really fun deck. Um, so regarding Fire Water format, the event that you won, how familiar are you with this format? I mean, you know your way around it. You know the metagame, the decks.
So I did play back then. I know the format well, but it's somewhat kind of fogs in with other formats. So I didn't know the specific lists like card for card, but I knew I had a general idea what was going to be played. Mermails, Fire Fist versions, Fire Kings, and for Infinities. I knew the general playstyle. And so, I took a little bit of time the day before the tournament to kind of get myself acquainted with the list, but the general playstyle I had a good idea with, and I had a good idea of what at least some of the decks I'd be expecting. So I was able to at least build a side deck accordingly.
Yeah, funny enough, I think I recall there was actually not much Mermail in this event, which I think was a surprise to most people. But you also said that you prepared the night before, the day before. Did you do any other preparation other than that, or did you just kind of go in?
I kind of just went. I mean, I spent a fair bit of time the night before, so it wasn't like 5 minutes of prep and then I was just kind of looking through the list, familiarizing myself with it. I've been playing a lot of older formats recent, so I've been playing um, 2011, 2014, and so I've kind of readjusted to the playstyle of those formats. I haven't been playing much Firewar specifically before the event, but I think that the power cards are very similar, and the engines I knew I was going to be familiar with, so it wasn't. I felt at least somewhat prepared going into the event.
Yeah, sweet. Did you play with any of your friends in preparation that day? Anybody you want to shout out right now that helped you get your victory?
I'll shout out Master 15. He was talking to me and going through some of the decks and just kind of remind me of what would you expect to see a lot of. I didn't test spirits with him. That was kind of actually a last minute decision to play, but I was definitely help with the side deck in preparation for what I should expect.
Yeah, so talking about preparation, was there any specific decks you wanted to beat or specific players you saw in the bracket that you were worried about maybe having to play them or anything like that?
So for the players, I didn't know too much what people were playing at the beginning. I mean, I went through the winners bracket, so as I was weighing on the other rounds, I saw Hunter's Roar deck that was coming up, and I kind of wanted to avoid those. I think that was a scary deck because it does what I do, but it goes it's better into the long game, so I wanted to avoid that deck. And then any of the top decks, so Fire Fist and Murmur, I wanted to avoid. There wasn't much water at all, so that was fortunate. I did end up playing one Fire Fist, and it was okay. I managed to deal with it, but I think those are the scarier decks that I was trying to avoid.
So let's kind of just dig into your list here. I mean, I'm not too familiar with this format, so I kind of would just like you to just kind of break it down for everybody listening, if that's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of decks in this format that do a similar thing to spirits. So it's just a rank four toolbox. You see in the extra deck, it's just all rank fours. And so I think the rank four strategy is somewhat similar to other people. And it's like, what do spirits offer that other decks don't? And I think that they are just very good at accumulating advantage and digging through your deck. Also, they uh, are able, I think, to play through some of the back row a lot easier. So their main normal summon is one that lets you get an extra normal summon. So that applies around summon. So they can't Fiendish Chain it, and they can't do breakthrough skill on it. So it allows you to get another spirit down. And so then if they then negate the other spirit's effect, you still have two level fours on the board already to make a rank play. And that's slightly different from Hunters, where you summon a Hunter and they have time to interact with it. And then there's other things you can do with the deck. There's some draw loops with Nikotama. So when sent to the grave, you can get a draw. And so I was using that a lot, where you overlay with it. And then next, you need a control spirit to do that. But what you do is overlay with it. You make something sticky like an honor arc, or exoton or whatever. And next turn, when you can detach again, or when you can crash into something, you normally other spirit and you crash it, and you get a draw like that. And my mentality with the event was I just want to see side cards and the good staples. So it wasn't so much about the engine. The engine is just rank four toolbox. It was just me digging into the side cards and to just the general good text in this format to kind of pull ahead.
So when it comes to techs and side cards and the such, what cards in your list make it like your own, opposed to like if I just Googled this kind of deck online for this format?
So the main core is similar. I don't think the spirits are anything too exciting. I think the one thing you'll see is I think a prevalence of hand traps. I have 9 throughout the entire deck: 3 Maxi, 3 Valor, and 3 Crow, and also the Trags. So actually 11. And I think a lot of the older players, not older players, but I think people who are more accustomed to sticking around in playing in the format libraries and the older formats aren't as accustomed to hand traps. But I play current still, so I'm used to having to play 12, 15 hand traps. So that kind of just screams out the souls right there. The other cards, I think Mind Crush is a very good card this format. I think it's very good against a lot of things because it just the extra information is extremely good. Um, I think those are the main ones. Also, the triple MST in the main is I think a staple. I don't think it's that unusual in this format, but it's something I always stuck to back in the day.
So did your list? I mean, obviously you won the event, but did it perform for you exactly how you envisioned it? And are there any changes you would make, maybe where there was an area where it didn't work out as well?
I think the main list was pretty good. I've been playing after this as well, and got some more tests with it. I think the main deck is very good. Even there's some one-ums in the deck, the trap stun there, the dark hole. I think those are very good in game one to just kind of you deck in a lot, so you can get to these cards, and they can be bullet cards in a lot of scenarios. There is an argument to change the side deck up a little bit. You extra trap stun goes in and out. Crows may go down to 2, but I think in general, other than the small changes in the side deck, the list is pretty good. There are some other spirits that people consider to play, and I think that they're fine. There's one that is like a bounce, and there's another one that's like somewhat like a chaos sword, where you banish a spirit to summon it, and I think those are viable options. But I just kind of want to keep it simple, um, so I just kind of let those stay out the list for now.
So throughout your whole run in the bracket, what was one of your most memorable moments in one of your duels? Like, was it like a crazy game shot, or like a really grindy game where you got the top deck, or anything like that?
So I think there's two really good moments. One was in the finals where we had both me and the Dragons player had a very explosive start, which with this deck isn't that common. You can XYZ turn 1 or turn 2, but you're not really going crazy. But I opened up basically double the spirit that gets a double summon and a searcher, so I was able to get back to back XYZ plays. I also opened BLS, so I did my first turn spirits, and just kind of search and not much else. He put some dragons on the board, and then I pushed hard with BLS and Treg. And then he managed to Star Eater and Gore's back. And then I was in I was in an okay spot. I could have made Exciton to clear and just hopefully hold on and get into a grind game. But I was down cards against dragons, which is what you don't want to be. And I top decked the Chaos Sword. So I drew both of my Chaos monsters early on in the game, and was able to use the Chaos Sword to game through the Star Eater and the Gores, which is quite unusual because this is not necessarily a fast deck where you can kill on turn 3. The other thing was the Azumi loop, so what it does is when you normal summon this card, you can discard a spirit or discard a card and back a spirit from your grave. And so if you have an Ikotama in the grave, you discard a second one, and then because the second one was sent to the grave and I control a spirit, I get a draw card. And so I got into a grind game. I think it was versus Firefist, where we're both low on cards, and I think I normal that card like 3 turns in a row. And so every turn I'm just getting a second draw, and then I went from being into a grind game to him being in the grind game and me just being ahead. So I think those were, I think that was a better demonstration of what the deck was built to do.
Yeah, it sounds like your deck has a lot of potential, and it came up a lot in this event. Congrats again on your win. Very impressive. Hopefully, we can get another Fire Water Retro Series event going on. Maybe you can defend your crown, and we'll see everybody else in the Discord try to join in, get more people turn out for that. Soul, is there anything else you want to say to the people before I let you go here?
Yeah, I just want to kind of give a shout out to the format library, and as well as just this format in particular. I think this is somewhat overshadowed by Hat, because Hat was just shortly after this format, but it has a lot less blowout cards. So one of the reasons I really enjoy this format is because you don't have cards like Soul Charge or Hands, which just skew the advantage naturally. So if you're ahead by 3 cards, you can be happy that you're ahead by 3 cards, and you can feel comfortable. And okay, there are cards that are going to be able to turn that around to some degree, but there's not these auto win cards. So I think it's a lot of Firewater has a lot of the things that people enjoy about Hat format without a lot of the blowout cards that made me somewhat dislike it.
All right, there you have it, guys. Souls, thanks again for sitting down here and talking with me about your deck and your win, and hope to see you in the next event.
All right, thanks.
Just as some closing remarks here, guys, uh, just wanted to shout out our upcoming events on the Format Library Discord. If you're not a member of that, there's a link in the description where you can join. We've also got our website linked, and this deck list if you want to play it for yourself in our Discord. Our upcoming events: July 3rd is the first ever WOA Cup 1. Is going to be featuring Draco Zoo format, and that'll start at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our next event is July 10th, Saturday. YRS39 is going to be featuring Reaper format, and that'll also be at 1 p.m. EST. Sunday, July 11th, will be YRS40 featuring Ravine Ruler format, and that'll be at 12 p.m. EST. And then Saturday, July 17th, this is the heavy hitter, is going to be our next GOAT Major Format Library Championship 19. That'll be starting at 12 p.m. EST. Hope to see everybody there. Again, everything's in the description. Again, shout out to soulsmanic for sitting down, talking about his deck list with us. And once again, congrats on his win. See you guys in the next one.